Casey at Night will start in 30 seconds. And now, introducing Casey Carter.
For the cup, I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front. Exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Carter.
Hello, lovers. I am Duchess Cashmere, and I am the griot erotica, the pussy preacher. I am the sexy shit talker. I am the orgasm orator, and I come to bring a word artistically nasty. Yeah. I welcome you to the cashmere room where there is only lust and sometimes there will be pain. Come and lay with me inside my cashmere room, and we shall lay from root to root, sacral to sacral, sun to sun, heart to heart, throat to throat, ajana to ajana. Let our Kundalini energy rise together and meet me at the crown, and we will dive down deeper again. I will pour my whole self out in ecstasy at your feet, and my body shall become your temple. Come! Come and play with me inside my cashmere room, filled with whips and chains and nasty things, vibrators and foxtails, floggers and crops. Ooh wee! Crotchless body stockings. Safe word required at all times. Ropes and buckles, leather and lace. Come and sweats all over the place. I lay in service as the instrument of your hedonistic symphony. Cause here inside the cashmere room, ha! Pleasure is my specialty. Oh, don't be scared. I don't bite without permission. Arr!
Oh my god! 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 Okay, you should see me. I had to hold my breath just so that I didn't say anything. I didn't giggle because like my cheeks hurt because I'm sitting here going.
Oh, I'm so happy. That makes me happy. Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
my
for
god!
having me, Miss Casey Carter.
Thank you for blessing me with your gift. Oh
It's my
my
honor.
god! Listen, I said to you before we started, I miss you. I can't believe I haven't brought you back sooner. I remember when I used to have you on just to
Yes.
have you do these beautiful things with these
Yes.
words. Oh my
Yes. We used to
God.
spill, we used to serve the tea, girl.
and the tea was piping hot.
The tea
It was
was piping hot.
hot. And it was beautiful. Ooh,
Thank
girl.
you.
Ooh,
Yes.
ooh. I,
It's, I know, right? It's been so long since we've been together, but here we are once
here,
again.
here we are. Here we are. I love how things come together the way they should, when they should, how they
Yes,
should.
absolutely.
I got to sip just because I'm still trying
I
to
know, right?
settle. I'm trying to mm. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the almighty Duchess Cashmere. Oh my God.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Hello,
Girl,
all the boob tube land people. Hello, all
yes,
the
yes, yes,
YouTube,
yes.
all the Twitter. Hello, thank y'all for coming
That is
in.
correct. Girlfriend does pop in every now and then on the boob tube, and I
Yes,
love you for
yes.
that. Love you for that. So okay, as you heard me say, I used to have her on the show. I mean, literally, it was just me and her spilling the tea. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had her on so many times way back when, and
Mm-hmm.
mainly because when you hear her, and I'm just going to say hear her, right? Because I don't want to give away too much. It takes you somewhere. You know, I'm just listening to her do her own introduction, and I'm sitting here bouncing and just like, um, I've
It
heard a
brings
lot
me
of
so much
people.
joy.
I've
So
heard a
much
lot of
joy.
people do what you do, and I don't even. I feel like if I say poetry or something to that nature, that I'm not giving it enough respect, because
Thank
it's
you.
not simply poetry. It is
No.
literal manipulation of words and into
Yes.
that create images in your mind, and
Yes.
it is a gift. It is a gift. I
Thank
mean,
you.
because I fashion myself to be a wordsmith, but I can't put the words together the way you put the words together. And I have the utmost respect for how you do it. And I've had the pleasure of hearing a lot of other people do what you do, but they
Mhm.
don't do it how you do it.
No, nobody does it quite like the Duchess.
No, nobody does it like the Duchess. Like they said, they remember they used to say nobody does it like the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. That's a New York
Yeah.
thing, right? That's you. Nobody does it like the
Thank
Duchess.
you.
So
Thank you.
beautiful. Please kind of give the folks a little bit of a who Duchess is, what Duchess
Yes.
does, because now they're sitting there going, Casey, we have no
Who this
idea what you're
lady?
talking about. What? Who? What? So tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, all your accolades. Because when
Yes.
since I initially met you, the
Yes.
accolades have been stacking on top of each other. So
Yes, I have been very fortunate and very blessed. My name is Duchess Cashmere, and I am a spoken word artist from Biloxi, Mississippi. I started out as a podcaster, just telling stories that I would weave into poetry. My husband and I have been in the swinger lifestyle for about 15 years now. And I use all of that experience, all of those wild, crazy adventures to write these stories that come from our perspective, a female perspective, a black perspective, a hot wife perspective, a bisexual perspective, and even a nerdy perspective. I have a few sci-fi stories on my podcast too, so I try to use all of that. I have a background in community theater. I just recently played Fannie Lou Hamer in a civil rights piece, so I do a lot of things, but performing on stage in sex positive spaces is my favorite thing to do. I enjoy it so much. The energy in the room, the people are very welcoming. I love it.
So again, I go back to when I first met you, and you are
Yes.
one of many people I met on social media.
Hmm.
And
During COVID.
right, and then had the pleasure of meeting in real life, and
Hmm.
basically adopting each other as family.
Yes, yes.
Adopting each other as family. Um, but I was just like I said, I've heard people do what you do, and again, I know you just said spoken word. I what you do, I feel like that is not adequate a description of what you do.
Thank you. Well,
And
thank you.
I'm dead serious because to know Casey's to know I don't blow smoke up nobody's ass. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I
Nobody.
feel,
Thank
and
you.
I just don't think it's enough, and that's why I this is why I'm having a hard time to even to say those kinds of phrases. But I know, and for other people to understand what
Hmm.
you do, that's what you do.
Yes.
That's what you
Yes,
do.
spoken word, storytelling, education or edutainment, as that's the
Mm-hmm.
buzzword these days,
Mm-hmm.
edutainment.
Mm-hmm.
I try to take the people someplace. I try to invoke a feeling. Some of the stories are completely plucked from my imagination, and some of the stories I really did do that shit. I really
Mm-hmm.
did sit on a man's face one time, and it was amazing. And I wrote, well, actually, no. That story, the queening story, was inspired by you. You challenged me to write it, and I had not done it. But since then, I have sat on a couple of faces, and it was
Okay.
very enjoyable.
Okay. See, sometimes you got to have the experience to have the thing to build upon. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the places that you've performed. Because again,
Yes.
I know when I met you, you had been performing
Mm-hmm.
here and there. And since
Mm-hmm.
then, I
Mm-hmm.
see your socials. You're here, you're there, you're over here, then you're
Yes.
back over there.
Yes, I had to make a list, and I made some notes so that I could be professional. Let's see, I I have performed at Exotica Chicago 2 times.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
have performed at Naughty New Orleans in New Orleans, Louisiana. I performed there twice. I have performed at Sex Down South Atlanta 3 times. And you're hearing it first today. I will be back at Sex Down South Atlanta this year. I got the confirmation email probably about an hour ago. So I'm very
Oh,
excited to
shucks.
go back to Sex
Oh,
Down South.
shucks.
I'm very excited. And I performed at the Meow University in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cat.
this
Love
past
cat.
year, yeah, yes, Meow, the Meow University, Miss Cat. Yes, she does do the
Chicago, the
scavenger hunt in
scavenger hunt. Yep.
Exotica. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And this past year, I've been infusing sexiness and queerness into more formal spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I've been performing at this place called the 100 Man Hall in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. It's on the old Chitlin circuit. So, like, James Brown has performed there,
Okay.
and Etta James has performed there, and
Wow.
Duchess Cashmere has performed there. I did a really good piece on this lady named Gladys Bentley. She was the first drag queen of our time during the Harlem Renaissance, and I wrote a piece to honor her. And let me see my notes. Oh, I just recently wrote a piece about blues music and how the creation of the music comes from enslaved musical
Mm-hmm.
geniuses. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been really busy. Like I played Fannie Lou Hamer this summer in a scripted poem reading. So I've been really busy infusing the sexiness and the queerness into all spaces because it deserves to be everywhere, just like everything else is.
It absolutely, absolutely, and for me, I like the idea, as you say, in all spaces, in say non-sexual, sex-oriented spaces, and
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of that is it breaks down the barriers. It dispels any misconceptions. It also
Yes.
shows people comfortable in their skin being who they
Mm-hmm.
are, talking about who they are. And the
Yes.
more we can talk about that, the more we can talk about pleasure, right?
Yes.
So the more we can talk about being who we are, whether that's cis, bi, queer,
Exactly.
non-binary, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
go by, the better. But the more we can talk about pleasure, Okay, because
Yes.
so when you think about it, before we expanded from LBGT to the whole alphabet,
Mm-hmm.
we still couldn't talk about pleasure. And here we
Yes.
are now redefining how we want to be seen to
Mm-hmm.
more narrower spaces. And we still find it difficult to
Yes.
publicly talk about pleasure. So I really, really like that you're taking what you do, still is Duchess Cashmere, but
Still is
finding
Duchess
ways,
Cashmere
right,
to weave
finding
it in.
ways to get in some of these non-traditional spaces. I
Yes.
think it's a
And
beautiful thing.
I've been engaged with lots of young people who I met a young lady and she's like, I never even knew that you could be queer and still be married to a man. I was like, well, yeah. I was like, yes, I am queer and I am married to a man, and that does not lessen my queerness and it does not lessen my marriage in any rate. And I was like, and I can do all of these other things and still write poetry and still do theater. And so it has been really encouraging to meet all of these young people because the young people are so different from us as far as gender. They're so different from
They're
us.
very different. My kids are 24 and 26. When
Mm,
I was in school, like when they were in high school here, they both did high school here in Georgia. They were born in Florida. We lived in Connecticut for a while, and then I moved here. So they did high school here, and I used to pick them up from school from time to time. And you can see the gay, lesbian, by who met, like you can see those kids in their natural
full
space
selves.
out in public side by side with other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll
Yes.
be 56 on my birthday this month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was in school with anybody gay. I don't know. But
Not openly. I didn't.
my kids know.
The only openly gay person that I knew growing up, my mother used to get her hair done by a transgender lady named Mr. Arthur. But Mr. Arthur dressed in
Mm-hmm.
full femme presenting every day, but was still called Mr. Arthur. And he did my mother's hair in the 80s. That was the only person
Mm.
that I knew was
Okay.
gay, was out, and was unashamed about it. That was the
Yes.
only person that I knew.
And
But not definitely not any kids
and
my
that's
age.
that's exactly it's exactly what I'm saying. Back in the time when I was younger, that would have been all you saw. It would have been an adult. It would have been an
Mm-hmm.
adult. It would not have been kids. And so again, I love the idea that kids are feeling comfortable enough to
Mm-hmm.
ex- express who they are, who they think they are, what they
Yes.
hope to be. You know, I just it's a really big thing in my mind
Yes.
because even
And I
for my cis straight children,
mm-hmm.
they're able to be who they are side by side with these children, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody can interact with one another without feeling pressure, without feeling shame.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one time I picked up my son and he was talking with a lesbian couple, and I asked him about, like, do you know them, what do you know about them, and eventually worked my way around to talking about the fact that they're two girls and they're in a relationship. He's like, yeah. And then he started talking about guys who he
Mm-hmm.
knew were gay, and he talked to them in gym or whatever the case was, and I was gauging his conversation about them and
Mm-hmm.
how was he expressing his interactions with them. it, Talking to them or talking about them was no different than if he talked about any other person, whether it was a family
Good.
member, one of his straight friends, whatever the case was. And I was really
Mm-hmm.
proud because I'm like, we never actually had conversation about
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of things, but he knew um, that we had gay family and friend, well, mainly friends who were family, like family to us, but that
Mm-hmm.
they were always around and they saw us treat them exactly the same as everybody else. It wasn't, you didn't talk about so and so being gay. We just all kind of sort
Mm-hmm.
of knew, but that was
Mm-hmm.
irrelevant to whether or not we were we were having conversation or interacting, whatever
Yeah.
it was. So yeah, I sorry, rabbit hole.
It's okay. It's okay. It's your show.
Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say because I could stay in this
Yes.
rabbit hole, but that's not why we're here. We're not here for that. We're not here for that. That's another show. We'll have
Yes.
to make one up for that one. But
Yes.
I'm gonna do a quick break, and
Okay.
when we come back, would you grace us with another piece?
Of course. I'm here. I'm at your service, Miss Casey Carter.
There are things you can say to the goddess that will excite the goddess.
Yes, I know.
And I'm at your service is one of them. All right, y'all, hold on a sec. All right. So I'm gonna get you set up, sweetie. You ready?
I am.
All right. It's all about you.
Happy Pride to everyone. And this poem is very near and dear to my heart. When most people think of a threesome, they automatically picture two women and one man. Two beautiful bisexual women enjoying each other's bodies and then turning their attention to this Shango of a man, and boom, a rainbow appears in the sky, and all is right in the world. And that's great. It really is. But that ain't what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about that double dose of divine masculine energy, the MFM threesome. Some call it a devil's threesome. To be taken in such a way by two men, to some women, it might seem savage, but from a sex goddess perspective, well, it's to embody this larger than life deity, able to sustain pleasure not just for one, but for all three. Energy moving in and out between all three, a pleasure exchange between all three simultaneously. 21 chakras vibrating in a soul funk gospel rhythm, a gyroscope of gratuitous genital gesticulation, 6 arms and 6 legs and 6 ears and 6 eyes, processing pleasure by the millisecond, like a hive mind with a pleasure objective, like androids connected by the sexual ether. Daddy, can I fuck him for you? Can I come on him for you? Oh, they primped on me and they sucked on me and they licked on me. They had me bent over like 9:30, baby. We moved in and out of sexual equations like clock gears, and the Duchess, ooh, wait, the Duchess was well pleased right here inside the Cashmere room.
I'm sorry.
It took you someplace. Yes, I did my job. I did my job.
Ooh, wee.
The
Okay.
ladies love that one at the poetry club.
I
Oh, they
know
love
they
it.
do.
The
Look,
men can't stand it. Oh, but I do it for the ladies. They
you
love it.
got listen, because in that room there's gonna be some who imagine and fantasize, and some who go,
Mm-hmm.
"That was last night."
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're like,
So
no, that's a train. That's not a train. That's a
no, boo
threesome,
boo.
baby.
Mm-mm. No, no, that's not a train. That's not a train.
It's threesome.
It's gonna take more than that to be a train.
I know that's right.
Okay, so you earlier mentioned that some things are plucked out of your imagination, other things are
Mm-hmm.
reality. This one
Yes.
is
This one was not real when I wrote it. I did
ah!
research on it. I studied. I watched some porn, of course, and I wrote it. And I would probably say about 3 weeks after I released it, I had this experience. And it was not exactly like the story, but it was good. It was good. I
Okay.
enjoyed myself very much.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what we need.
It
We
was
needed
very
to
good.
have been good. We needed to have been good.
Yes, it was
That's
very good. Yes, it was
excellent.
very good.
Excellent.
Yes.
So I know you said that, some of these things, again, are plucked out of your head. Some of these things are based
Mhm.
on real
Mhm.
life experiences. But how
Yes.
do you take that seed of an idea
Mhm.
and craft it into these well stitched phrases?
I I have a real live thesaurus,
Mhm.
three different editions of the thesauruses, and I usually start off with the idea. There is some masturbation involved, and I just start rattling things off, and I record myself rattling it off. And then I go back and listen to myself.
Okay.
And then I begin the piece, the process of changing the words. Like, ooh, if I have said, like when I came up with gyroscope of genital gesticulation, I knew I want, and I love alliteration. I
Mm-hmm.
like things that all start at the same letter. And I just start digging through the thesaurus. What word can I use for movement? Gyroscope. Okay, what can I use for excess and sex? Gesticulation. And what
Mm.
word can I use? Genital was easy, you know.
Right, right.
Because I'm trying to think of any word I can use other than dick or other than pussy. I'm trying to think of all the words.
Right.
So
Okay.
yes, I love a good thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
And
Oh my God. Yes.
yes.
Yeah. And kind of in when I would write the short story, it's kind of the same thing in terms of you just get it out of here into paper, computer, whatever, excuse me, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
medium for capturing it is. And then you go back, you read it. I as a writer whose words aren't necessarily designed to be heard specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I edit out loud. So, in other words,
Mm-hmm.
I read it to myself out loud to see how
Mm-hmm.
it sounds, to see what am I feeling from what I just heard, in
Mm-hmm.
hopes of that same thing happens when it's read silently to themselves. So I kind of wondered, how do you put together what you put together, and it makes sense since you're an orator, right? It makes sense that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to just spit it out
I
and
just
then
spit
let
it out, and then I craft it up. And then when I was writing, because I'll tell you a secret, I'm not producing new episodes anymore. But when I was writing, I would write it read it out loud to myself, and then of course I would ad lib naturally, and then some of the
Mhm.
ad libs I would keep, some of them I would take away, and I would do that about 3 times throughout a course of a week, and then record it. And I try not to edit them at all. However they come
Okay.
out of my mouth is
Okay.
how they come out. But I'm not writing. I'm not making new episodes of the podcast anymore
Because.
because I'm getting ready to convert all of the stories into a book.
Mhm.
I'm 3 chapters away from the second draft. I took the
Okay.
best 27 of the stories, and they've all been lengthened out and they've been recrafted for a reader,
Okay.
not just me and how I
Right.
talk. So I've been doing that process that you just talked
Yes.
about
Yes.
of converting it to make it readable,
Mm.
and I'm almost done. I got 3 chapters left, and I'll be done with my second
And
draft.
I think when I saw you in one of the Chicago's, you had talked about that was your
Hmm.
next big project.
Yes.
So I'm tickled to hear
And
that.
when I get done with the book, all the stories will be gone away off of the airways. They'll be on bookshelves, and
Okay.
then I'm going to go to the next stage of my creative path, the next stage. So I'm very excited. Very
What is
excited.
the next stage of creative path?
Well, I have, so the stories is 27 stories.
Uh-huh.
They're not connected to each other. Two of
Okay.
them are, no, four of them are connected to each other. I have two stories that are two-parters. There's one about a vampire
Mm.
that was written 3 years ago. That is a two-parter. And then there's one about two late in life lesbians that is a two-parter. So I'm going to
Okay.
do, the first book is going to be an anthology. The
Mm-hmm.
second book is going to be the vampire story lengthened out.
Okay.
The third is going to be the two late in life lesbians lengthened out. And then the
Okay.
fourth is going to be how I did all of this.
Okay.
So I
Lovely.
have a master plan.
I was gonna say I love a plan. I love a plan. Ah, those who don't plan to fail. So I
That's
love a
right.
plan.
Yes.
Okay, well, definitely looking
Excited.
forward to seeing how all of that comes
Hmm.
together.
Yes.
Um,
And then all of these other writing projects, when you get a reputation of doing erotica,
mhm,
that is kind of that's your brand. And
your brand.
being able to branch out and write about these historical figures and write about blues music. And they're like, oh, we thought that's all you did. No, ma'am,
Right.
I do it all. You just have
Right.
to ask me for it. I can do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm very
And I
excited to see my writing grow.
I love that. I love that. And I like what you said about when people come to know you for being in this lane, and that's all they can imagine is you in that lane.
Mhm.
A few years ago, wrote a book with my mom and my sister. It's
I
not
remember
erotica.
that.
Yeah, it's not erotica. But what was fun about it was we did so my mom was in a book club here in the
Mhm.
community, and when it was her turn to do book club, she used our book, and me, her, and my sister were kind of like a panel of discussion. And so all the ladies know me by my government name.
Mhm.
And so now it's like, you're Casey Carter? Oh, okay. Because I wrote the book as Casey Carter, not my
Mhm.
government name, because
Mhm.
as a writer, I write as Casey Carter. I didn't, so I'm like, I'm not even going to come up with a whole new pen name. We're just going to use
Yeah.
this name.
This
We're
is
going to
the
use this.
name.
We're just going to use this name. And let me tell you, there is one lady in particular who to this day no longer calls me by my government name. She only calls me Casey. And I always see her
Yes.
when when the ladies are out to lunch, and she's like, "Hey, Casey."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Hey."
Hey.
Hey. I'm like, we're out in the streets here, okay? We're in the country club. Don't go hollering my name like that in the country club. And then I thought, no, say it louder. Say it again. Say it
Yes,
again.
absolutely.
Say it again. So yeah, again, I listen, anything that where you can find yourself as you are in these mainstream spaces is a beautiful thing, because
Yeah.
while the book is by it is a million light years away from erotica, anything sexual, well, not necessarily anything sexual, but it's far removed from what I do as a writer
Mhm.
personally. And it was exciting though to have conversations with these women who are in their 70s and 80s
Oh,
about who I
yes.
am as Casey Carter, and talking
Hmm.
about what it was like to be sexual in their generation versus what it's like to be sexual in my generation versus what it's like to be sexual in my daughter's generation.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's I love having that opportunity to talk to people and take down whatever barriers there are. So,
Mhm.
and as an orator that you
Oh,
are,
great.
do you find yourself having opportunities to talk to people, just not necessarily the spoken word, but just being able to talk to them about being free?
Yes, I do. And recently, yeah, last year I left my day job. And so if you notice, no
Yeah,
mask.
I was wondering. Yes.
I don't have to hide my face anymore. And I did a complete transition to where when I'm doing community theater, I don't do it as my government name. It is Duchess. Duchess is performing in your play now. It's not Miss Lyons, it's Duchess. And so that has, and it's opened a lot of doors.
Mm.
Oh, I didn't know that that was you. I didn't know that that was the same person. Yes, that is the same. I am Duchess Cashmere. This is what oh, you do that too? Yes. And a lot of the older church lady friends that I have, they're listening to the podcast in secret with their husbands. And I just love that for them. I love that for them. And it is, it makes me proud because I
Mhm.
know that my mom is like, yeah, that's my girl down there. That's my girl down there doing that.
That's that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Having the support of family, but especially having the support of the woman who birthed you and
Yeah,
is okay, or minimally supportive, even if they're not okay, but supportive of what you do.
very.
It
Mhm.
makes it easier to do what you do when you've got that kind of support. So that's a beautiful thing to feel
Yes.
that in your heart and know that you can go off and be the
Yeah. Wear
Duchess.
my Duchess Cashmere shirts in public, and they're like, "Oh, what is the Cashmere Room? That's my podcast that I do. I have a flyer right here in my purse. Here, girl. There was four little ladies at Exotica last year before last in Chicago. They came on a whim on Sunday and they all sat in the front row of when I was speaking. I still keep in touch with those little
Oh,
ladies.
get out. Okay, so
Yes.
wait, was that the Exotica that Lorenzo had to play bouncer?
No, no, that was the second
Okay.
Exotica.
So let me tell y'all
Ooh,
about that.
ooh, girl.
So I mentioned to y'all earlier, Duchess and I, we have become family, right? So
Yes,
if when Duchess travels alone and she's at Exotica, Lorenzo and I, we check on her. Now,
yes,
there were a bunch of us. I was gonna say there were
yes,
a
there
bunch
were.
of us that kept an eye on Duchess, made sure
Hmm.
Duchess was good, wasn't
Yes,
nobody
they took
fucking with
such good
her.
care of me.
Yeah.
Lady B, I love you. D, I love you.
So we all made sure Duchess was okay because she was traveling by herself on this particular occasion. And so, because it's Duchess Cashmere, and because she was traveling alone, Lorenzo and I were made sure to go to her, her seminar, aka
Seminar.
her spoken word moment.
Yes. Yes.
And
Fornication fairy tales.
mm, so we sat midway to the back, right? But I wanted to sit on the aisle because I want to be able to see her. I wanted her to see me so that,
Feel the energy and the love.
and everything was smooth until
Girl, I
Crazy
was
walked in the room.
sold off.
Until Crazy
Cra-
walked in the room.
Crazy walked in the room.
And let me tell you what I mean by that. So we as you come into this seminar space, you come in from the back and
Mm-hmm.
the setup is down front. Okay? You
Mm-hmm.
come in back here, stage front up there. But along that side wall are doors. For this
Yeah.
particular room, there were doors. And there were doors up front where the setup was. So the door randomly opens. Some dude walks in with it was an inflated mattress.
And an air mattress.
Uh-huh. And he just clearly walks through her
Mm-hmm.
performance area down the aisle, and he was clearly dazed and confused.
Yes. And I was
And
like, I'm speaking here.
yes, yes.
Speaking. Do not see all of us.
I mean, and he didn't even like moved with a swiftness. He slow
Mm-mm.
poked his ass
Yeah.
through the space. Like
Yes.
literally, it let me tell you, for a split second, you would have thought this was a performance the way he did
Yes.
this because it was
Yes.
odd for him to come in from the side door, walk through the front of the performance area and down the center aisle like he ain't got nowhere to go in particular,
Just
dragging a fucking
yes.
air mattress. And we're all stunned, like, the fuck
What
is
the
going
fuck is
on
going
right now?
on?
Duchess did have to break character for a moment and be like,
Yes.
hello,
I'm speaking.
performing. And dude was like, uh, uh,
My
uh, uh, uh,
bad.
like he didn't even know what to say. And then he
Yes.
walks out.
Not
And
on
then
Mr. Lorenzo's watch.
I was gonna say, and then Lorenzo gets up and walks out, and all I thought was, "Oh
Oh
shit!
Lord.
Well, I got
He brought
mail.
it on
We good.
himself.
We good. We good. It'll be all right. It'll be all right."
Yes.
So Lorenzo walks back in. Now, understand, Lorenzo is retired law enforcement, and he is from
Yes.
New York. Okay. He walks back in. He got the dude hemmed up by the collar, still dragging his little air mattress. And he's
Uh-huh.
like, you need to apologize. Huh?
Yes.
What? He's like, you need to apologize.
Oh,
It
I think I
was,
still have it on tape somewhere.
oh my God. It was like, I felt like it was an episode of Punked because it was just like, did we
Oh,
just, what do we,
what is happening?
huh? It was wild. It was utterly, utterly wild.
The
Um,
audacity was oozing. It was
and not in the good way.
wild.
Not in the
Not in
good
a
way.
good way.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
I will never forget that.
Me neither.
That was a
That was
thing. I'm
crazy.
like, and I don't go to a lot of seminars, and I know for a fact shit like that don't happen in these
No, it does
seminars.
not. It's
Anyway,
like, what the hell?
anyway. Okay, we're gonna take another quick break, and when we come
Okay.
back, we're gonna talk more about these awards, your
Yeah.
current nomination,
Yes.
things
Current
of that nature.
nomination.
All right, we'll be right back in a second. Hold on,
All right.
Watch Casey Carter and her co-host, Carrie Anthony and Desiree on Exotica TV's BoobTube, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on YouTube and Twitter at Exotica TV. Join the ladies each week as they talk about what's hot and what's not on TV, streaming, and in theaters. Don't miss them and Jay, the man behind the sound effects. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Exotica TV. What could possibly go wrong?
On track, now we going way up. Don't be used as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up, way up. Now we going way up, now we going. On track, now we going way up, way up. Now we going way up.
Okay, y'all.
Them titties is amazing. I gotta get a picture.
You can see why I had to cut that piece in, because even I was like, oh yeah, that's
Okay, Titty. You look good, girl. Yes.
thank you. Okay. Okay, so like I said, I want to talk about, you have won many awards and you're
I
currently up
have.
for an award. So tell us,
Yes.
what awards have you won and what are you currently nominated for?
I have won the Mississippi Gulf Coast Spoken Word Artist of the Year award two
Of
years
the
in a
year.
row. I
Of
won for
the
of
year.
the year, not the erotica, not the female, but the Spoken Word Artist of the Year award 2 years in a row, and I'm very
Of
proud
the
of
year.
that.
Of the
Of the
year.
year,
Of the
of the
year.
year.
I need y'all to understand. This, it's not that they did it this time and next month is somebody else. The
Yes,
whole year. That's
2
365
years in
days,
a row.
366 on a leap year.
Yes,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
yes. And I am currently nominated for Erotic Writer of the Year by ASN Lifestyle Magazine.
That is an award that I have won. So I am
Yes.
very excited about that. Very excited
You're
about that.
hosting this year, aren't you?
Girl, I've hosted the last 3 years.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You are the
Yes.
queen of everything.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm actually quite excited. It's, and here's what's crazy. When you are like hosting an award show, or when you've watched people who are hosting an award show, or who were a presenter and the person who won isn't there and they're like, I'd like to accept this on behalf of, girl, there was so many
Mhm.
times I'm like, that's mine. I'm going home with that. That's mine too. Um, it's amazing how you watch a internationally televised event and you hear them say and do those things, and here you are at your little local event going, here's my opportunity to say the stuff they say on the big shows. I'm saying it all.
Yes.
I'm saying all the things they say.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so let me just say this. This
Mhm.
is not your first nomination for that, correct?
No, this is my third time being nominated. I would really love to win.
Yeah. And this is why I want to bring this up, because, and I'm gonna just be straight with y'all. There's like buzz that the award show, that particular award show, ASN Lifestyle Magazine award show, that it's not diverse. There have been some comments that
Mm.
would, again, insinuate that it's very not melanated friendly,
Mm.
and that I was a token at ASN. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not I'm not afraid of being the onlyest one in non-melanated spaces. I grew up that way. That don't scare
Yeah.
me. So I'm nobody's token. If I'm there by choice, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm there to infiltrate. I'm there to be the raisin in the milk because it makes it prettier that way.
Yes. And you raise people up. You raised me up. Me performing at Exotica Chicago was that lady. Was that lady right there. She was like, you send an email, you tell them that I sent you. That lady right there.
Because listen, I don't have a problem giving props where props are due. I don't have a problem hoisting someone up if I feel
Absolutely.
like they really deserve it, or if they not just deserve it but need help being seen. If I've got access to something, I want you to have access. And let me tell you, I put myself in specific spaces to develop access to be seen. Whether you like that space or not, I made a calculated decision. And ASN is one of those spaces where I made a calculated decision. I want to be involved. I want to be a part of some place that I can help more of us find a place to be. And if you look at this year's nomination and the categories of the award show, baby, it is
It's a
very
blacklist.
melanated. It's
Yes.
very, very, very. The only thing more melanated would be the Urban X Awards. Okay, that is the only thing more melanated than
Yeah.
ASM Lifestyle Magazine right now, and I am very, very proud of that. And more importantly, there were names in nomination this year that I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Like, I
Yeah.
saw
I've
some of
met
these
a few
faces, I was like,
people.
oh my god, they're
Like,
melanated.
oh,
Oh my god,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you who are not melanated are like, Casey, why are you like making such a big deal about it? Because there are certain spaces where it's still a struggle to
Yes.
uh to diversify, or as I like to say,
Mm-hmm.
infiltrate. um
Mm-hmm.
and there's no reason not to, right? There's no reason why everybody can't be a part of something, or that you don't create opportunity for everyone to be a part of something. I don't need you to build a handicap ramp. I just need you to make the
Just
opportunity for
open,
me to
unlock
do
the
it.
door.
Right, I'll get
Unlock
in.
the door. I can walk in. Yeah, I get in.
Listen, I will walk, crawl, hopscotch, cartwheel, somersault,
Mm-hmm.
roll like a barrel, whatever I gotta do. But I'm gonna get in
Yes.
there. I promise you. If I gotta get on
Yes.
somebody else's back, I'm getting in. Just give me the
Yep.
chance to get in. And that is one of the beautiful things about ASN. I don't, nobody is perfect. Absolutely, positively,
Absolutely right.
nobody is perfect. Nobody's award show is perfect. Nobody's production of an award show is perfect. So you're never going to find anywhere that doesn't have flaws. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
say it. You're never going to find someplace that doesn't have
Never.
flaws, which is why you've got to pick and choose your poison.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to get off that soapbox.
Okay.
Um, but again,
Yes.
fingers, toes, and
Thank
eyes
you.
crossed
Yes.
that you win this
Yes.
time. Because I swear to you, I'd like to accept this on behalf of Duchess Cashmere. And I got to bring one of these awards back into my office here. Because so the last award I won was for cover of the year, and I
I
have
remember that.
I have a poster size um version of the cover out in my living space where my little
Mm-hmm.
bar table is. It's just
Mm.
perfect because I've
Mm-hmm.
got a humidor and a little mini fridge and my little table with
Mm.
all my accoutrement for adult
Accoutrement. Oh, I like
accoutrement.
that word.
Mm-hmm.
Accoutrement.
Accoutrement for adult beverages, and above
Mm-hmm.
that is this picture. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and Duchess, I'm looking at you now, and I'm gonna say this because I'm experiencing this, so I'm gonna say this to you. When I first saw your face pop up on the screen, while we were still in the green room, I looked at you and said, oh my god, she looks like I feel happy and free.
Oh,
I see this on your face. There's a glow that I see, and it reminds me of how I feel. Now, there's a whole backstory to why I say I feel the way I feel. Y'all don't need that right now, but that's what
Mhm.
I see on your face, and I
Oh,
would
well, thank
love
you.
to see you capture that and make it a poster that you place on your
Mm.
wall, because
I
there's
have one.
you do.
I
Well, get
do. I
get more,
have one.
get more, get more. And here's why I say that. When I before I did it, I was a little hesitant of
Mm.
blowing myself up that big. Then I did it,
Mm.
and I was reluctant to put it on the wall. And I talked to myself for a very long time, like, it's your fucking house. What's the problem? Like,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you put yourself up on the wall? And then the other part of me was like, well, because when people come to your house, they're gonna be like, why she got that big ass picture of herself up on the wall? And the answer I got was, because it's your fucking house, right? Like, it's your
that's
house.
right.
It's your house. The majority of the time that you were in this house, you were in this house alone. You celebrate you. You
Mm.
celebrate you.
Now I
And
will say this is not on the wall. It's not. It's not on the wall. It is in the frame.
okay,
I think it's in a closet. I think it's in a closet.
get it out the fucking closet and put it on the wall. Find a wall that you can put it
Yes.
on. Because the one that I have it on, because I contemplated, like, I'm in my little office space here, and I'm gonna tilt my screen back so you can see this banner here.
Ooh, badass.
So
Oh, I love
this
it.
this was created for my 50th birthday
I
party.
remember that
You can
birthday.
Yeah, you can see that. That was for my 50th birthday party. And I this is here in my office. Nobody comes in here but me. So nobody really sees this but me. The one that I reluctantly put up on the wall is seen by
Mhm.
everybody who comes through my front door.
Mm.
Everybody. And I had this anxiety that people were going to talk shit about me. Baby, when I tell you, people walk in, they look at it, and they keep moving. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why was I so scared?
Why was I nervous? What was I worried about?
So again, because I'm looking at this glow on your face, you should be
Thank you.
looking at that glow on your face, reminding you of how spectacular you are, and how much or how far you've come just from when you and I met. I don't even know
Mhm.
how far it's been from when you first decided you wanted to do what you're doing. And I think you need to do what you can to not just celebrate it, but to put it in your own face to remind you of how amazing you are and what a success this is. Because let's just be honest, I'm gonna speak from the perspective of a writer. I'm not an Amazon number one. I'm not a New York Times bestseller. But you know what? I still beat out millions and millions and millions of people who never published anything, whether
Never.
self-published or published by an actual publishing company. Still
Hmm.
further along than they are. And I say this to
Hmm.
you, you are still, so you weren't on Def Comedy Jam. I'm not Def Comedy Jam, but you know which one I'm talking about.
Hmm. Yes.
But you have still performed more than folks who think about
Yeah.
it. Wish I
Yeah.
could. Ah.
Hmm.
And you've got to honor that. You absolutely
Yes.
positively have to honor that. And
You're
because
right.
sometimes we are our own cheerleader. We are the only
Ooh.
cheerleader. We are the
Yes.
loudest cheerleader.
Yep.
So
Absolutely right.
I love you that much that I would tell you, brag on yourself, love
Yes.
on yourself, biggie yourself. You know, the what is that the song about, you don't need your best friend, your bestie hype you up, or whatever that song is, right?
Uh-huh.
Be your bestie. Be your own
Be
bestie.
your own bestie. That's right.
Be your own bestie and
Absolutely.
hype yourself
Oh.
up. Listen. And if you can't do it, just remember me giving you this lecture here and now.
Go to YouTube and find that video.
Cause girl, and I know, again, off on a tangent, into a rabbit hole. Let me tell you, Casey got more rabbit holes than Bugs Bunny, okay? More rabbit holes than Bugs Bunny. But
I love
before
it.
I let you go, would you bless
Yes.
us with One more piece.
Let's see what we got, what we got. All right, let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Oh, okay, I know what I will do. I will do the one that is full of all the realness. So, um, this one is called The Many Lovers of Duchess Cashmere. And yes, all of these people are real, every single one of them. But the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
They ain't so innocent.
They ain't so innocent. Where is the. Hold on, let me find it. And one thing, I do not spit my poetry without reading it, and that is a homage to the great Maya Angelou. And I just have to preface that because in the poetry community, you get a little flack sometimes when you don't recite it from memory. But I am paying homage to Maya Angelou. I love her. So let me say something to you. Duchess Cashmere has many lovers. Child, I've been in bed, out of bed, on picnic tables and swingers clubs and BDSM lounges. Oh, darling, the Duchess does the things. People ask me all the time, where do you come up with these stories? And I think it all goes back to the lovers. Yeah. There was a banker one time. His long division was like a never ending pie. His deposits were deep, and his interest was always capitalizing, and he always paid the bill. There was a dishwasher, and don't hate the hustle because he was excellent with his hands and never afraid to get dirty or wet. Sploosh. I had a preacher man. Hallelujah. Oh, his praise and worship, his ministry. Oh, he had me speaking in tongues. Chapter 69, verse 69. There was a mechanic. He came over every 2 weeks just to tune me up. He kept all my gears nice and loose. I robbed a cradle one time. Oh, yeah. Young, tender, cougar meat. Round. His back was strong, his dick was long, baby. He cocked my whole ass up to the sky. My ex boyfriend's brother, it wasn't very good, but the revenge was worth every second. All 42 of them. A married man. In my defense, I did not know he was married until after I rubbed my pussy on his face. So that's his fault, not mine. The same man my best friend was having sex with. Oh, he thought he was doing something spectacular, child. Meanwhile, she and I was exchanging notes on his performance every night. A lieutenant colonel. Ooh, rah. I live in a military town. Navy on one side of town, Army on the other. Baby, by day, he commanded hundreds of soldiers, but by night, he laid in my service. He worshiped all of me, my pussy, my flogger, and my strap on. But my greatest lover, well, she is a goddess. Ooh, I long to be her submissive and her dominant, to worship her and push her into her greatest potential. For that is my greatest charge, to love myself first. And I intend to do just that right here inside the Cashmere Room. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Thank
I
you.
swear, I be
Thank
sitting
you.
here like I need to put my ass on mute. I just want to
Thank
giggle so
you.
hard. I swear, I just want to giggle, just want to giggle. Um, Duchess, you have no idea how I feel so blessed in this moment to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, much love and affection for you. But I just, the minute I saw your face, I'm like, oh my God, I miss Duchess. I miss having you say the words on my show. And you know, of all the things
I
you
miss
said,
saying the words.
honey, honey, you
I've been
could
in
think of
formal. I've been in formal theater land for too long. I have not said anything nasty in a long time. I miss saying the words.
and, and you know, of all the pieces you do, I don't know why your introduction is still always my favorite. I just, uh, like I said, everything you say after that, oh, it's good. But if you said nothing else besides your intro, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. We're good. I did. My job is done. Thank you.
Your job is well done. Well,
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Brava.
you. Thank
All
you.
of that. All of that. So, honey, where can we find you next? Where should we be looking for you?
As always, if you're on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you can find me doing poetry at the Almanet Poetry Night every third Wednesday night, every third Saturday night in Gulfport, Mississippi. I will be at Sex Down South Atlanta this coming September. And let me check my notes. You can find me on Twitter at Duchess Cashmere, all together one word. And you can find me you can go to ASN Lifestyle Magazine. You can read some of my stories. I have probably about five or six. I'm probably in about five or six issues of ASN Lifestyle Magazine.
Vote
And
until July 13th for Duchess
vote until
Cashmere.
Yes, vote until July 13th for Duchess Cashmere for Erotic Writer of the Year, Ebony Erotic Experience. Vote for Lorenzo for Best Cover. Vote for Organic Lovin' for Toys. Sex Down South's on there for Convention. Deborah Shade, Afrosexology. The whole black list. The whole black list.
Whole blacklist.
The whole black list. Um, those are the only two things that I have coming up is
Okay.
I'm always doing poetry here in Gulfport and then Sex Down South. I'm getting ready to hunker down and start. Oh, the podcast. You can still hear the podcast. It is exclusively on Spotify. There are 34 episodes. They're all very delicious. There's a vampire story. There's a story about a woman doming a couple. There's a story about a woman having sex with two men. There is pussy proclamations. There is fornication, fairy tales, MILF monologues, and pussy poetry to your heart's content. The Cashmere Room on exclusively on Spotify. You can still catch the episodes until the book gets published.
Until the book gets published.
Yes.
Okay.
I know, right? That was a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you down bad. You are like sister, mother, auntie, all of the things. You have been an excellent mentor to me through this whole process. Thank you for answering my DM all those many years ago. I really appreciate you. Everything that you've ever done for me, I appreciate you so much.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've gushed all night about you. I just love seeing where you've come from where I met you. And by no means am I saying, insinuating for those listening that I built up Duchess Cashmere. I'm just saying I remember where she was when we met and to
Mm-hmm.
watch the evolution because there have been many people along her path. I'm not the only
Mm-hmm.
person who has guided, pushed, kicked her in the
Yeah.
ass along this way. There
Yes,
have
lots
been
of people.
many of us, and
Yes.
many of us are interconnected in ways.
Mm-hmm.
So she was receiving similar love along that path. And I say this to you because if you are someone as gifted and talented, or hope to be as gifted and talented as Duchess Cashmere, there's something about family, and family doesn't have to be blood DNA. Family is people
That's
who
right.
love and support you and
Yeah.
continue to push and encourage you. And sometimes the push and encourage is a swift kick in your ass.
Yeah. Or
Sometimes,
spanking on the exotica floor.
woo, girl, we didn't talk
I
about
shared
that.
that video recently. I was like, this is when Miss Casey Carter spanked me on the exotica floor.
Talk about distracting me.
Ah,
Yeah.
I
Again,
was
that's
like,
what family
that
does
was a
for you.
moment for me because I was like, all of the, and be in within the BDSM space, men, they rule. Just, the patriarchy is there, even though they say it's not. And I was like, there are no women. I was like, I want to give a woman an opportunity. And I was like, honey, can I let Miss Casey spank me? Yes. Yay, let's do it. So I enjoyed letting you be the queen of Exotica in that experience. I loved it.
It was oh man. I oof, that's a rabbit hole cuz this was prior to you performing, right?
Yes, I I had a performance in proper Chicago that
Right.
night, and so you spanked me, and I left. We went across
Okay.
town to perform for the Meow University, and
Okay.
I killed that shit.
Okay, cuz I was going to
All
say
because of your spanking.
I seem to recall there was a performance and the spanking
Yes,
somehow
and I was
coinc
nervous, and my husband wasn't with me. I needed some support.
right.
I needed a big
Yeah. And listen, again, this is a rabbit hole that we can go down deep, deep, deep in. But sometimes, for those of you who are BDSM novices and who think it's just all about pain, it is pain
Yeah.
and pleasure. However, sometimes it also helps to release an energy so you can
Hmm.
focus and do what you need to do. And in that
Yes.
moment, it was just that. It was, let's get this anxious anxiety out of the
Yes.
system. Girlfriend already
Hmm.
had the tools that she can do what she could needed to do. She knew she could do what she needed to do, but that
Yeah.
energy
I just have nervous energy.
and we all have it, right? Sometimes though,
Yes.
it just overtakes us. And so
Hmm.
I remember, and I think bigger than you saying, would you spank me? It was you saying that Mr. said it was okay. There's
Yeah.
something about protocol,
Consent is sexy.
right? Consent and protocol. So because him giving permission was important to you,
Hmm.
and him giving me permission, for considering we've never met. Like, I've had
Yeah.
a few occasions where someone gave permission to their submissive for me to have them in service in some form or fashion. That is a level of respect that you
Hmm.
just don't understand. You
Yeah.
just don't understand. That is a significant level of respect that they would allow someone to have dominance over their submissive in a space that they weren't present at.
Mhm.
Man, we can talk about that for another hour. Easy.
Ah,
So I thank you for giving me that gift. I thank Mr.
thank
for
you.
giving me that gift. Because it was just that. That was a gift. And
Yeah.
I appreciate having had that moment with you, because even though it was in a wide open space, it is still a very intimate experience between you and
Hmm.
I that people were witness to. And man,
I was crying. I remember I was crying, but it wasn't from pain. It was just sheer energy. It
yeah,
was so
yeah.
good.
It was
It
a
was so good.
release. It was a
It
release. Trust me,
was.
I understand it. I've
Yes.
I've
Yes.
had those moments a few times where I had to get this energy out because I couldn't function where I was at in that moment. So I
Hmm.
completely understand that. So listen, like I said, that's a rabbit hole. It's very deep. We could spend a whole lot of time in that space.
Yes.
But this is what having these experiences with each other does. It provides teaching opportunities. It provides opportunities for us to share, enlighten those who don't know, reinforce for others who are like, I think that's right, I'm not
Mhm.
sure. And we have to have more of these kinds of conversations. So I thank you
Absolutely.
for being who you are and doing what you do, and I thank you for coming on the show, and now that you have confirmed, being in a position to have these conversations full face.
Mhm. Yes, full face. No
Full
more
face.
masks. No more hiding. It was a lot changed for me last summer. A lot changed for me last summer, and I knew I had to step out, and I knew I could not take my art to the next level wearing a mask. I mean, I'm
Mm,
sure it can be done. I know
right.
people that do it, but for
Right.
me, I needed to stop living this double life. And I was
Right.
very grateful to be able to make that transition.
And like I said, I mean, I've seen you in that time period without your mask on, but this
Hmm.
version of you, this version genuinely looks free, right? Like
Thank
it,
you. Thank
there's
you.
no indication of that in the back of your mind somewhere thinking about, is someone going to see this?
Yes.
Is
And
someone going to
tell my
recognize me?
boss.
Right.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't have to worry
So
about none of that
it's,
no more.
whoo, girl.
Yes. I'm happy.
Okay, like I said, I got more rabbit holes
Okay.
than Bugs Bunny. Okay, so
Okay. That means we have to do a whole nother show on a whole nother
multiple,
topic.
whole
Yes.
multiple, a whole nother topic. Yes,
Yes.
and I have dedicated 2025 to having conversations with my friends, and more specifically with my girlfriends. More specifically with my melanated girlfriends, because we have experiences that just are you very extremely unique to us,
Mhm. Yep.
and no one understands us better than we do. And
Hmm.
so, our perspective, our viewpoint is worth hearing. It is absolutely necessary to share. So I appreciate you sharing you with the Casey Carter audience. And,
Always.
I we did the tea time with the Duchess before, and I'm definitely gonna have you back, and
Yeah.
so we can have more tea time, even if we
Yes.
just record and I plop it into
Uh-huh.
an episode just to have a
Okay.
little
I'm
tea
with
time.
that. Yeah, I'm with that. Whenever you call me, I'm coming, girl. I'm coming.
Listen, I ain't scared. So, so thank you, beautiful. I
You're welcome.
so
Thank
adore
you.
you for doing the show.
Thank
I
you.
look
Thank you for
forward to
having me so
seeing
much.
what's next for you. I'm just
Mm-mm.
so happy for you. Hope to see you holding your award.
Yes. I'm kissing. I'm gonna lick it. I always take a picture of myself licking my awards. I'm going to lick it.
Okay, that's kanky. Okay. It's yours. Do with it what you
All right.
will.
Yes. Especially if it's been in your hands. Ooh.
Mm. I may have to lick it first.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Okay. Under
All
control.
right.
Under control.
Okay. All right.
All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace out.